Yeah, sure. It's this stuff. Let me see. It's right there. Jilani 87. Correct. Hey, you did. Hey, everyone. You're good. Um, so yeah, my name's Mohammad Jilani. I've been drawing for Tops since 2017, I believe. Done like 24 projects for them. Um, I mean, I've always like gravitated towards art. Um, been drawing, painting, for since high school, and it's just going to conventions and meeting the right people, and that directed me towards doing sketch cards. And it's ever since it's just been a ride, all the ups and downs, and especially working with fans and interacting with the artists. It's been really fun. It's become a big part of my life. So yeah, it's totally cool.
Nice. Yeah, I think I had myself muted to Facebook, but you could hear me.
Okay.
So, oh well. Anyways, I think people know what's going on. But yeah, we got Muhammad Jelani here, first artisan for the virtual con, so that's cool. You get that title. What was your first? I think you said 2017 was when you started with Top. So what was your first set you worked on?
It was actually, let me see. I believe it was this little fella right here. Row 1 Series 2. And man, that kicked my butt because I was excited and I took on like over 100 cards, very short deadline. And then that was the first set they did that duplicate nonsense for. And man, that wore me out. I didn't even finish the whole set. I think I did like 80 odd cards. Um, and it was an experience, learning experience, trial by fire. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. It was a good start. It was a
Okay.
fun
Cool.
start with.
Yeah. So like, okay. So you said you did like 80 cards, right? And then what did they make you do with the 20 you didn't use? Do you have to send those back?
I did have to send them back. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean,
I've never asked. Um, Kevin West is saying what's up. Andrew
I,
Sigerson is saying hey.
hey, what's going on?
Um, he's asking how the new baby is. So
Oh, great. Yeah, keep me busy.
you're a new father, yeah?
Sure am. 3 month little girl, Juniper, and I've got her in the
Congratulations.
next room. So hopefully
We're not
she
too loud.
stays cool during this, or I might have to eject out abruptly.
Right, right. No, we'd certainly understand that. I'm gonna pop you on the big screen.
And
Um,
let me give a little
yeah.
display so I can move back to the right area. So this is normally kind of my con setup. It's been collecting dust during these interesting times, but I figured I'd throw it all together in my studio space so we can kind of have a con experience. These are some of my sketch card artist proofs that I have, some personal sketch cards in there from various sets.
Now, are those for sale, or do you like to
Yes.
keep them? Okay.
Yeah, no, I mean, for the right price, everything's got a home. These are some blank sketch covers that I illustrated on. So, if someone's into that, I've got some of these here. And I've got like high res images of all this stuff. so you guys can take a better look. These are some of the cards that I've done for Topps. I try to pick them up, when I'm at the store. Some 11 by 17 poster prints, and then I've got this Mando here. That's the original piece. So yeah, and then I've got that Dark Knight piece way in the back. So yeah, that's the set.
Is that what the print is based off of?
Yes. So that's the print.
Okay.
And then there we go. Let me see. Here. And I'll put a better picture of that. I don't work that large anymore. It's good to go to after doing these tiny sketch cards. It's a nice break to work on a larger scale.
Yeah. So actually, it kind of looks like you've got a little bit of a collection of some figures or something back there. You do some collecting on your own, or some other stuff.
But those are my. It's my little shrine. Got some hot toys.
Oh, look at it! Yeah, that's cool. Those are nice
cool
displays.
Inspiration. What's up?
I said those are nice displays. I like them.
Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I think one's a Detolf and this is something else from IKEA. They're both from IKEA. But cool inspiration. I don't really get to spend on them anymore. Got other priorities, but yeah.
Right.
Anytime I had a successful card or, get a couple of APs sold, let's see if this works. All right. I rigged this. It's not a perfect setup, but let's see here. Okay, cool.
It looks pretty good. There we go.
Alrighty. Can you see me?
I can see you, yeah, and I can hear you okay. Hopefully everybody at home can hear you. So you said Rogue One Series 2 was your first set. What was the most recent set you worked on?
The Women of Star Wars. That was really fun too. Cool set. And it's interesting to go back and see my progression. Since different methods, techniques I've had a chance to use working on these cards, and it's kind of cool because I don't have to invest too much time into a card. That's why I kind of really got into it with this. Once you're doing a larger piece, you spend hours, and if it doesn't turn out the way you want to, it's it's pretty disheartening and a lot of waste of time. Here it's a sketch card. We don't get paid much for them. But I try to put a lot into every card I do, and I try to think of it. It represents me as an artist, so even my worst piece, I try to think of it that if it were to be an AP, try to put a little bit of oomph into it. People get the value for their money.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people spend big bucks getting these sets, and a lot of times they don't get a lot of this stuff. So if they do, I wanted to go the distance that it mattered. And it's one of the things is some people get frustrated that you do a card, you get paid very little money, and then turns up on eBay, goes for hundreds of bucks, like $5, $6, maybe over $1,000 sometimes. But the way I see it, that might pay someone's rent or a car payment. So essentially, that becomes a much more gratifying part of this. So and some people collect them, makes them really happy.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a couple comments coming in. Timothy Ward was saying that soon you'll be able to share your passion with the little ones, so that's awesome. I know I've got a 2.5-year-old, and he just started drawing. He can already draw better than me, colors some circles and things, but it's certainly a good time. Andy, I can't pronounce the last name, Kajar, said that he certainly appreciates the way that you guys go above and beyond with the cards. I know I've seen your cards. I don't think I've pulled anything from yours yet, but I know I've definitely seen some. I've seen you post. I always like to look at Sketchfest, and I've seen your stuff on eBay, and it's pretty fantastic. I know it hasn't been in my price range, but maybe one of these days I'll expand that so I can snag one for my collection.
If you keep your eye on it every now and then, there's something cheeky out there. You can get it for real cheap. I've almost tried to buy some of my cards back, but it's like
Yeah.
But,
well, so I know you kind of talked about the progression. Why don't you tell us a little bit about like how your art has progressed, or how you've noticed that it has since your first set to your most recent one?
Well, I don't do 100 cards anymore. So that was a quick learning curve, and that's part of why my cards end up being a little hard to get because I try to keep them under, 30 odd per set. It gives me more time to focus on them, and I don't do this full time. Between family life, work, it's great. So therefore, I can focus on the card, give it my very best. I'm not rushing through them. I mean, sometimes, we get really crazy deadlines. A lot of collectors may not know the other side of that. What we have to deal with on a bad day. On a good day, correspondence can be awesome, but in this industry, if you're doing this full time, it can get rough. But no, Tops has been probably, it is actually without a doubt the one of the better companies I've worked for, and they go through a lot of changes. But yeah, they stay in touch with their artists, and it's been good for sure.
I was gonna say you guys usually get like what, three weeks or so? Would you say on average?
Give or take, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's tough. Yeah, I
And
don't know. And with so many of you being, I'm guessing perfectionists in a way, and wanting your cards to look the way you want it to look, I can imagine that can be a tough deadline, especially if you're
oh,
taking a lot of cards.
and then the things come your way. Sometimes delivery, FedEx may not deliver at the right place, and then you're stressing. Uh, there are times your cards show up in bad shape, and then you're like, oh man.
Yeah, that's tough. We got a lot of comments coming in. Chris Steelman saying he's got a puzzle sketch by you, which is fantastic. Justin Henninger said that he's actually got one from you. He thinks it's one of the first ones you ever did. Rob Winchester loves your setup and said that you rock. So definitely a lot of fans of your art out there. I know I've admired it from a distance. I haven't, like I said, I haven't put one in my collection yet. I certainly intend to. But can you tell us a little bit more about like the mediums and stuff that you like to use with the cards, and if does that change with bigger pieces?
Well, initially I started off with, Copics because it's a smaller scale, so I figured, I can get good quality, and since it's not a large piece, I wouldn't want to take all my
What
Copics somewhere.
real quick, dumb it down for us non-artists. What is Copics?
It's a marker. It's an alcohol-based marker,
Okay.
and here once we're done with this little part, I'll come around and show some of my setup. It's a little messy, but that's how I end up having to roll sometimes. But they're alcohol-based markers, and I use them with colored pencils. So I would lay the base with the marker, get all my flats, and come in and get some values, and then finish up with like Prismacolor pencils. Um, and that was my thing. But then Copics tend to run a little expensive, so I dabbled with airbrush, and that's been my main medium now. So it's acrylics. I'll either use them with a paintbrush, lay them down really light, and do my pencils, and then come back with airbrush and just do the little highlights, finish it up. So a lot of mixed media, ranging from markers, pencils. I do a lot of mixed media. My preference is graphite and ink. I like working black and white and pencils, but going switching to color was, it was interesting because I used to work on personal pieces with pencil and graphite, but when I switched to sketch cards, I started experimenting with some color techniques, and it's allowed me to really grow as an artist. So that's another thing I'm really grateful for. That it's been a really good platform to grow as an artist. And I mean, I love this stuff. I mean, obviously, pop culture, and being able to spend so much time working on my favorite properties, and getting this feedback from the fans. So it's about passion. You get passionate about it, you get passionate fans, and that's where all the fun stuff starts happening. Um, so yeah, I mean that's a big part of what keeps me going for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Dayton is asking, do you have a favorite set that you worked on?
I would like to say it's hopefully my next one, but when as I've done every set, I feel I try to improve on the previous one. Masterworks is usually the one where we get the some of the best stock that Tops provides, so it allows me to really um, put a lot of work into the cards because normally if we layer them too much, they tend to warp and stuff when it's the normal sets, but Masterworks gives us an opportunity to do a little bit more with the cards. So yeah, I feel with Masterworks you'd see my best work, and I feel perhaps the last one was a set I was pretty proud of. And Women of Star Wars too, that turned out pretty good. The likenesses, and at that scale, making sure your likeness is tight, you might start good, and then you just have a little drop from your spray or your airbrush to splatter, spit up randomly, and here goes the entire eyeball. And you spent what? I try to keep my cards under an hour now, just so I don't spend too much time, because then I'm killing the value. But as long as I'm getting them done within an hour, I'm pretty satisfied. For artist proofs, I'll try to do a little more, but never more than a couple hours on the card.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of time, and I mean, you said you're working a full-time job, you got a baby at home, and I mean, if you're doing even 30 cards in 3 weeks I mean, that's a lot. So
right, and it takes a really patient wife.
yeah, mine is the same. With I've been doing a lot of group breaks, so it's a different kind of patience, but the same kind of thing. But no, I know, like I said, I've admired your work from a distance, and it's very obvious that you put some really special effort and care into your cards. So I can imagine everything you're putting out there, you're pretty proud of.
Well, I mean, I remind myself, that it's something to not take too, you can't take it for granted, because there's a lot of people who would like it. It's a good platform. It's licensed stuff. I've gained quite a little bit of following. So I feel you gotta respect it. Sometimes it feels like trash based on, if someone doesn't like your work, or it doesn't sell for what you're really trying to, you're trying to get the value for your time, really. That's it, the materials. But you just gotta, I just look back at the fact that, hey, it's a pretty cool platform. And some of the things I get to draw and get paid for, I would probably be drawing for free on my own accord. So, yeah, for sure.
Well, it's cool. I mean, I love Star Wars. I can't draw. If I could, I would imagine that'd be the dream. To be able to draw a licensed Star Wars. I imagine you're a fan. Do you have like a favorite movie, a character, anything like that?
Oh man, yeah, of course, big fan. When I draw the cards, the movies are always playing, so I've seen like all of them more times than you can count. I mean, I'm loving Clone Wars right now. It's really good stuff. Some of the best, honestly, between Rebels and Clone Wars. The material, like there's a lot of people who don't know what Star Wars is doing in those mediums. But man, honestly, some of the Clone Wars episodes, I mean, to me, they surpass a lot of the live action stuff. But I try to take every movie for what it's worth, and it's a ride. Not dwell too much, but of course, Empire, that's the one I go to. Can't go wrong with it. New Hope, the original trilogy. Not too. I don't actually hate the prequels either. I'm a fan, especially after having to watch them so many times. They grow on you, and then you realize that, hey, you know what? They're still good stories. So I mean, yeah, Empire would probably be my favorite. I enjoyed Rogue One. The Mandalorian stuff's been great. Can't pick one. But no, I mean, right now I'm definitely having a good time watching Clone Wars, and I'm interested in seeing this growth going into the next season of Mandalorian, and hopefully soon enough. I think on our next set we may get an opportunity to draw from that, so that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm right there with you. Empire's my favorite. I really like the prequels. I was in high school when I think Revenge of the Sith came out. And at that age, I loved the action. I loved the special effects and all that stuff. So it was I enjoy those, but I love Clone Wars. I love Rebels. I love The Mandalorian. I mean, I just love Star Wars. I love all of it in general.
Honestly, even the new trilogy, yeah, it's a very hard time, but it's a story for its time, and if we have a preference, we can go back to our favorite movies. So it's not for everybody. Just the way, when I draw a piece, it's really not for any one specific person. So, if someone doesn't like it, sure, cool. It's not for you, but there's someone out there who really digs it. So you just gotta put out your work and not worry about it. Some people, I think one of the hardest things is judgment. So like you're worried, oh, someone doesn't like it. Because at the end of the day, the feedback you get is what you thrive off of, and you're like, okay, this is working. Let me keep going in this direction. So, when that feedback is overwhelmingly negative, yeah, it can cause someone to not pursue art. But I'm like, who cares, man? Just do it for yourself. Eventually, someone may like it. If you like it, there's got to be someone else out there who like it. So just do it. And then just try to improve on, your most recent piece. And yeah, so on. I try not to work on one piece for too long.
Yeah. Dayton is saying you have an amazing outlook on your craft. This event being able to give us a better understanding on the artist's take on their projects is awesome. A lot of respect for what you do. He's certainly a fan of you.
Thank you.
So yeah. So anyways, I think what's so cool about the artwork too is that I could take all of you guys who are participating in the event and say, draw Luke. Draw me a sketch of Luke, and they're all going to be different. We could even take the same exact image for your reference, and they're all going to turn out different. And I think that's so cool. That you guys all just have your own techniques.
When we're working on a set, we get to see each other's work, a lot of the artists, and then you're like, man, he used that reference that I was planning on using. But then some people, it prevents them from possibly doing that piece. I mean, the way I look at it, man, as you said, every particular piece is represented by that artist's view and their perspective. So that's what makes it so unique. So you can have the same piece, and each piece will tell its own story. So yeah, that's definitely pretty cool.
Yeah, I know. I saw. It's cool when you can start to recognize, the artists out there. I can see somebody. I'm starting to get to the point where I see somebody post a picture on the group page, and I'm like, I'm pretty sure I know which artist that is. Before looking at the back or before asking them who the artist is. At least with some of the newer stuff I've gotten, I feel like I can kind of recognize your style a little bit and some other people. I think you just had a Sabine that actually my local card shop sold that I was torn up about. Freaking Brett Devich won it. He outbid me. I was kind of sad. So it was a Sabine close up of her helmet from the Women of Star Wars. I think you had another one that had her her guns or something too.
I did.
I've been keeping my eye out for that one. I haven't seen that one pop up yet. There was the other one of just the helmet, and my local car shop 10 minutes down the road. They don't. I asked because I know a guy. I said, hey, do you think they'd ever let me get first stab at some of the stuff before they put it on eBay? They're like, no, they put everything on eBay. I was like, man, because I would have made them a deal for that one.
Thanks, man. Appreciate it.
So yeah, and then I saw Brett posted, and I was like, "Dang it, Brett!"
That's another thing we try to get over too, and I may not be able to speak for every artist, but there's some pieces we're really attached to, and no one was really going to get to know, hey, this piece meant a lot to that artist. Some of these pieces get rejected by Topps, and they're shredded, destroyed. Someone has that horrible job of, yes, so any piece that's not approved, Topps destroys, ideally. Some of them slip through and end up on eBay anyways. But, some of my favorite pieces have been, canned, and no one's seen the light of day except for some artists.
Why is that? Is that because it violates some sort of regulation or something?
Man, so their rules are pretty strict, but at the same time, sometimes they'll just, destroy something for whatever. I know, I'm not going to say any names, but there's an artist, a lot of his pieces, man, top-notch stuff. Amazing. You can really see him pour his heart and soul into it. A big chunk of it was not approved, and it was some kind of mistake they made. And yeah, it's an interesting ride. They've gotten better, I think, but for sure, I've known a lot of people losing some good work.
That's tough.
And
they should just send it to me. I
we
just,
we can't share that stuff. It's done. So
yeah, Tops can just send it to me. Brian wants to know, do you work on any other sets besides Star Wars?
oh yeah, absolutely. So I started with Upper Deck actually, and then I think it was Agent Carter. That was my first sketch card gig, and then got into Tops, and then did a lot of stuff with Tops, and that varied from Tops has a lot of licenses from Walking Dead, Stranger Things, um, all things I was a fan of. So it's like little schoolgirl getting excited, like awesome, I get to draw this and spend like hours. And when I do my work, like I'll try to consume myself in the property, so I'll have like the soundtrack playing and the show playing in the background, just to kind of get a environmental feel for it. I mean, it may not make a difference, but sometimes you kind of get that atmosphere pulled into your piece, and I mean that's what I try to do. So, getting an opportunity to jump into these worlds on a professional level, I mean, that's like one of the coolest things. And so, yeah, there have been some ups and downs doing this, but at the same time, that's a big part of why all these artists keep, roughing it out and coming back to it because a lot of this stuff's a big part of our childhood and going into the future. I mean, if you look at some of the stuff, like what Clone Wars is doing, it's very relative to some of the stuff we're experiencing. So, it's a narrative, and sometimes it's a great escape. So, yeah, that's definitely one of the best parts of doing this gig. So, Upper Deck, Cryptozoic, that was a good company too. They had some issues, but I got an opportunity to do some really cool stuff. They did the DC Cinematic Universe stuff, and being a huge fan of the Christopher Nolan trilogy, obviously, I had a chance to draw for it, licensed stuff, and that was, I think, one of the highlights of my illustrating career. However, that project had a lot of issues, and I don't want to put them on blast, but a lot of artists were pissed off how that project was handled. But end of the day, it's some of my best work, and some of the artists, the work they did for that project was amazing too. So getting to see these artists that we all inspire each other, and it's like wow. It's for me, it's never about a matter of envy or watching someone do something like, oh my god, what I was doing, I'm gonna have to throw that away because they just killed it. And when you see that, it's a matter of finding that inspiration. That wow, that's their point of view and it's on point. Let's see where you can take yours. So watching each other doing the same stuff, very inspirational, for sure. And that's also something that gets us to try to be better. I feel, or at least from my point of view, you try to better yourself to keep up because, man, people put a lot of time into these. They're not really sketch cards. I mean, they're paintings. They're miniature paintings. And one would think, oh, it's small, so it shouldn't be worth a lot. Well, it's a lot of detail, and it's strain on the eyes when Marsha Parkins, I think she does over 100 cards almost every set. I
Yeah.
mean, that's a beating on your eyes and your hands, and just your posture. So those kind of things. So when sometimes collectors badmouth artists, I'm like, man, they're putting a lot of physical and mental and emotional energy into this. If you don't like it, don't worry about it, man. Move on. It's not for
Hey,
you.
that's great
But
advice. Yeah.
at the same time, when someone's like, oh wow, that really resonates with me. Guess what? You just made that artist stay, and you gave them a reason to do another.
Yeah.
So for sure, the community has been one of the best parts too. Like this group, there's an artist group. So being part of those communities, it's really cool because you kind of don't feel isolated, even in these times. Like, look at this. This is crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, I have to work essential, but at the same time, it's one of those things. A lot of people are at home, and you're stressed out. Being able to tap into a community that's doing the same thing, different parts of the world. Like you said, my card ended up where you were at, man. That's crazy because I've seen my cards, China, Africa, Australia, Canada. So that's one of the cool things too. Like your art's being distributed all over the world, bringing joy to all kinds of people. So no, it's definitely one of the things that I don't take it lightly. It's great.
Yeah. Yeah. No, absolutely. Robert said he loves your setup. I love the fact that you're bringing the real con to us.
Hey, I started with a bang. I didn't know I was the first one, but
Well, hey, you set the bar high, so That's a good place to start. But hey, we're getting close here to the end of our time. I know you had mentioned you had a set. You were going to kind of show us your setup a little bit.
Yeah, let me come around real quick.
Your phone buzzed. I thought it was kind of funny. You got a text or something that kind of shifted.
Let's see here. So, these are Copics right here. You know, there's alcohol-based markers. I use those. I still use them with my airbrushing. Got some colored pencils here, Prismacolors, some more. I mean, I try to tidy up between sets. That's a personal sketch cover I was working on. Got some pastels, bunch of random crap, and then some go-tos. You know, black and white Prismacolor pencils. So my airbrush is over there too. That gets a lot of work nowadays to get my base down.
Yeah. No, that's cool. Brian Reed is asking, do you have any licensed sketches for sale?
Here we
any
go.
Licensed blanks for commissions?
I don't have any blanks. I try not to keep blanks. So, you know, I kind of lose myself in every set. Do my thing and then just put it out there. But there's a few collectors who commission me, you know, and there's a relationship built up. So I'll work with them. They'll buy my artist proofs in advance. And, you know, I'll try to accommodate them with their request. So for sure, like if
what
you're
set
interested,
are those Star Wars cards from? The
okay,
Luke and the
that's
no, the ones down the Luke and the Vader.
Oh, okay. So yeah, these are the artist proofs, the licensed ones that I do have for sale. I don't even remember what set. I think this would have been. It doesn't say. Someone's probably gonna know what set that was. That's probably the Skywalker set they did. Or no, that was Galaxy. That's Galaxy.
Okay.
Last year's. So these are all licensed. This is a personal sketch card. This is actually really good stock Bela Lugosi, the last piece I have from a project I did. Artist Choice cards from Viceroy. They give us some really good stock to work on.
Is that a Masterwork Massage?
Pardon me?
Is that a Masterwork Ventress?
Yes, it is, actually. That's my last. And I want her to get a good home. I love Ventress, and she just doesn't get enough love. But that is Masterworks, good stock. And all my artist proofs and the pieces I do have for sale currently are listed in this post, or you know, in the official booth.
Mm-hmm.
I did some set for Terminator 2 for a card company in the UK. That was a lot of fun. Big fan of the franchise. Well, up until
Brian's asking about a Dracula. Did we see a Dracula somewhere?
Yes, that's Bela Lugosi.
Oh, right there.
Right there. I think I'll move him for 100.
He's calling dibs on Bella. I don't know what Bella is, but
oh, that's him. That's Bella right here.
Oh, okay.
Here, I'll let him have a good view, and I'm glad he likes it, because that's the last piece I have left. I did a horror icons. Try to do Universal monsters for that set. And if you go to my website, which is artbyjilani.com, I have high-res versions of pretty much every card that's out right now that I've done, so you'll get a chance to really look at the work. These are from my DC set that I did.
That Batman's crazy.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I wanted to keep that. So, I don't know. He's still with me. I wish I hadn't asked him to stay with me like that. But for the right price, I can get him to a good home. These are personal cards. These are actually part of what got me to do some work for Topps, I think. Mm-hmm. As was this Venom.
So, Brian's asking some great questions. He's asking how to go ahead and purchase these. If you guys haven't already joined the event, make sure you go join the event. All of these artists, including Mohammad, have their own what we're calling booths. They all made one post. Make sure to scroll down so you can see everybody, because they all have one. He's interested in the Beetlejuice as well. So go ahead and go to their booths. Send them a personal message, and reach out and tell them what you're interested in. Post it on their booth, because you had all this stuff posted, even the non-Star Wars
I do,
stuff,
with the
right?
prices and everything. So you can, yeah, just message me. Either you can DM me or you can just respond in that group post.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So yeah, again, guys, go check out the event. Join the event, show these artists some love. And Mohammad Jilani does some ridiculous stuff. I know. Oh, that. Wait, are those? Is that just like a scanned image?
I don't have those anymore.
Oh,
Yeah, those are
I was gonna
scanned.
say, there's no way you have that stuff left. Oh,
Yeah,
that.
no.
Where'd that Vader go?
Oh, he's gone. Yeah.
You got to tell me who took that so I can bug him.
Oh yeah, no, they paid a top dollar for it too, so it made me pretty happy.
Yeah, that. Oh shoot, I can imagine that's ridiculous.
I'm doing some limited edition prints of this guy. That's the original piece, but down in the comments you can see some variants I did for the Mandalorian.
Yeah.
So
anyway, and you do commissions as well, yeah?
I do. I mean, right now I'm really not taking too many on, but for sure you can hit me up and I'll give you a quote, and if it makes sense, you can work with me on it.
Okay. Perfect. Well, hey, I really appreciate you coming on and joining us and being our guinea pig artist for the event. Like I said, you set the bar high with your your setup there. So, but yeah, guys, anybody who's watching this live, anybody who's watching this later, certainly go check out Mohammed's booth and shoot him a message if you're interested in anything he's got. If you're interested in any commissions. He like I said, I've seen you from a distance. I've got to get up close and personal here soon and get something from yours into my collection.
Right on.
But yeah, anyways,
I'll pick installments and stuff, so pretty easy to work with. I've got a bunch of originals that I'll probably try to over the weekend, because I think we're good till Monday, right? With this?
Yeah. Yep.
So in this post I'll drop some originals in there as I dig them out, because during these times everything's got put away, and since my baby I'm not doing cons really.
Right.
So hey, thank you guys for all of this. It was cool. Hopefully you guys learned some stuff from the inside, behind the doors. I mean, tomorrow you're gonna get to hear and see a whole lot more, and I'm curious to see and hear what all the other artists have to give us.
Yeah, absolutely. So hey, everybody's saying you knocked it out of the park. Awesome. Thank you. Great way to kick it off. Again, I really appreciate you coming on. And
hey, glad to be here, and thank you guys for being out this late. This is the late radio station. It's the late DJ.
Well, yeah, I was gonna say, hey, we're catching some of the people over across the pond, as they're waking up, and then I'm out here on Pacific time. It's only 9 o'clock for me, so I'm about to go watch Clone Wars.
Yes.
And get ready for bed so I can get up and we can get this rolling in the morning. So. Yeah, hey guys, again, anybody who purchases anything from any artist, you're going to be eligible to win a handful of awesome prizes. So, go check out Mohammed's stuff. You purchase something from him, he's going to let me know that you got something, and everything you get is going to be an entry for a giveaway. So, anyways, have a good night, and we'll see everybody in the morning.
All right, you guys take it easy. Thanks.